Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So let's do this, right? Let's get this win. Barcelona will be facing Real Madrid at the Camp Nou. They're coming to our house. We're gonna beat them. It is going to be happening. There is no way Barcelona is going to let this opportunity down, because the fact that we even have this opportunity to go on a 12-point lead, which is basically almost, right? Almost, not completely, but almost wrap up La Liga. Barcelona just have to go on 100% full force, and we have to see this, right? I know that these players want to perform in front of their fans and bring back La Liga in front of their fans, and the best way you could do that is by beating Real Madrid again at the Camp Nou. If we could do it at the Bernabeu, we can definitely do it at the Camp Nou. Yes, the Santiago Bernabeu is Barcelona's home. That is their training pitch, but Barcelona's main home, where the player's heart is at the Camp Nou. And so let's get this. I'm super pumped, and what we're going to be doing in this video is talk about the tactical preview. There is a few things that Real Madrid have shown in the past 4 to 5 games that we just have to discuss. I think that Barcelona, if they can understand the weaknesses of this Real Madrid side, they can beat this team, and that is what we are going to be discussing. A lot of this is going to be regarding Real Madrid facing Liverpool, because I think that what Liverpool do defensively and how they press is something that Barcelona should be inspiring to. Even though Barcelona have really progressed in pressing, I think that if this squad, Barcelona, can press the right players and know exactly what to do right after, they will be successful. And I know that this does not make any sense right now, but let me explain. Let's first talk about point number 1, which will be the right back position. The right back needs to be in top form. Real Madrid do heavily rely on their left side, which does include Vinicius, because if you look at all of these pictures, you can see that the main shape of Real Madrid is like some sort of pointy object that goes down the left side. You can see that Real Madrid's shape is always the same, and it continues to be the same through the game against Liverpool. The exact same shape was shown against Espanyol, Real Betis, even Barcelona a few weeks back, and before Barcelona, Atletico Madrid. So that is their main consistent shape, and the reason why they have so much more of a attacking focus on the left side compared to the right side is because they usually place Valverde or Asensio on the right side, and for some reason Ancelotti likes to command those two players, whoever it may be, to fit in much deeper and to have more compactness in order to help Modric, because usually Modric does win the ball and then he puts those balls to either Asensio or Valverde, which is again the reason why they sit so deep, is because they want to be close to him. With Vinicius is a different story. Vinicius can be like 40 feet away from one of the midfielders and he can run for those balls. But that is basically the summary of what this Real Madrid team is in terms of the attack. They really do rely on Vinicius if they want to move and progress the ball forward. If you stop Vinicius, you fix 80% of the problems. Not all the problems, but 80% of it, which is why I do want to call up Araujo to really stand up on this night. This player, as always, he can't take on Vinicius. He can't stop Vinicius, and that is the reason why lately Barcelona have been so successful. So Araujo has to be 110% against Vinicius. Moving on towards point number 2, and that is going to be regarding Camavinga. If Camavinga plays as a left back against Barcelona, it's over. It is so over, because Camavinga as a left back, it's just a huge weakness for Real Madrid. We saw that against Espanyol. You can see that Camavinga made so many mistakes against Espanyol, and that is one of the reasons why Espanyol found that goal against Real Madrid, and it was because of a Camavinga mistake, because he let that ball go over his head so easily. His positioning was not good. He looked very awkward. So I don't think that the coach is going to allow Camavinga to start as a left back against Barcelona. If he does, then good. That's great news for us, but I don't think it will happen. I think that the player that will be starting on that left side will be Nacho, which will be a player that we will be talking about in the next point. But going back to Camavinga, if Camavinga ends up playing as a central defensive midfielder, which I think will happen, that is where things greatly do change. Because look, I'm not trying to make an agenda here and like try to hate on Camavinga. I think that Camavinga is a great midfielder. He will be one of the best midfielders in the world in about 5 years. He's great at intercepting the ball, anticipating for the ball, taking away the ball from one of the opposition's midfielders. If we can see here, Trent was trying to find that player to pass it to, and this was around the 8th minute, and I believe that Henderson was the player that was about to receive the ball coming from Trent. I could be wrong here, but then we saw Camavinga intercepting that ball, anticipating for that ball, and it gave Real Madrid a very big chance on going on to the attack, because again, he dispossessed the ball away from Liverpool. So he is really good at doing things like that, and we have to be very careful when we pass it to players like Sergio Busquets, or maybe Frankie de Jong, or maybe even Gavi, or whoever is going to be in that midfield. Again, Camavinga is really good at doing that. He's also a player that makes the midfield of Real Madrid so dynamic with Modric and Cruz. So I have a lot of respect for this player, but like every player, they do have a weakness, and I'm going to be showing you guys an example here. We can see that Liverpool throughout the game were really trying to press Camavinga. Every time he was about to receive the ball, they pressed him, and they pressed him very well. This is where we did see Carvajal throw the ball inside. Camavinga was about to receive the ball. He actually does receive it, but then Liverpool forced Camavinga to make a very uncomfortable pass. They forced Camavinga to use his right foot because Camavinga is left-footed and he's really bad with his right foot. And so because Liverpool has forced this player to use his right foot, Camavinga kind of like rejects that and he's like, no, I have to use my left foot because I don't want to make a mistake. But he ends up making a mistake. Camavinga ends up making a very awkward pass that led towards Liverpool regaining possession. Barcelona is so capable to do pressing like this, to press Camavinga with players like Gavi, hopefully, who I think will be starting on that left side, and also with Lewandowski and Frankie de Jong. They can do this. Like, Barcelona have already been called as the best pressing team in La Liga, so they can definitely implement this type of idea against Real Madrid. And so now let's move on towards point number 3, which will be regarding Nacho, like I did explain earlier. Now again, I respect Nacho a lot, and I think that he's a great left back for Real Madrid. He also sometimes plays as a center back, but because they have made some few moves as of late with Militao coming in, Rudiger, we usually do see a lot more of Nacho playing on the left back position. Now, who knows? Maybe Mendy could be playing on that left side, but I believe it will be Nacho because he has been very consistent in the past 6 games. He did very good on marking Salah, right? Salah couldn't really do anything, and so Nacho had a great game. But every time we do see Nacho going up and trying to either start an attack or making those runs to receive the ball in high areas, those are usually really big missed opportunities. And so let's talk about that, because the amount of space Nacho leaves behind him when he goes up is just absurd. Like, let's look at this example. Real Madrid and Barcelona were playing a few days ago, and on the 15th minute, we saw one of the players of Real Madrid, who was Cruz, receive the ball, and that was a moment right there where Frankie could have pressed him. I have no idea what was the orders coming from Xavi Hernandez on like pressing these players, but I felt like that was a very big missed opportunity, was to press Cruz from behind, and Frankie could have easily regained that ball because we know what he could do. And you can see Nacho already very high in his position and ready to receive the ball, and behind him there's a lot of space. If Frankie were to have pressed Cruz and take the ball away, or maybe even dispossess him in order for another Barcelona player to receive it, that is where we can attack, and that is where Rafinha can make those runs behind Nacho and receive the ball, and Barcelona go for the win. Like, again, I have no idea what were the orders from some of these players during plays like this, but we should have pressed the midfield up much harder, because usually at that time we see Nacho very high and there's a lot of space, and Rafinha just has to take advantage of that if those type of opportunities do arrive. But in this case right here, Barcelona did not do what they had to do, and because of that, Vinicius received the ball right after. Nacho went up the pitch and he ended up receiving the ball. So it was a missed opportunity. Even though Barcelona ended up winning, I think that our display could have been refined. Here's going to be an example on how to successfully do it, which is going to be regarding Atletico Madrid. Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid were playing a few days ago also. You can see that there was a ball going into the air. Cruz receives the possession after one of the players recovers the ball for him, but then he immediately loses it because Atletico Madrid were so aggressive in the middle of the pitch, unlike FC Barcelona, like that example that I did show you guys. And then Cruz again loses the ball, but because Cruz just had that 1 to 2 second touch with the ball, for some reason it green signaled Nacho to go up high, but it was a mistake, because again, when Atletico Madrid received the ball and Real Madrid and Cruz lost it, there was a lot of space being left behind Nacho, as you guys can see in this example. One of the midfielders of Atletico Madrid receives it, he sees the open space, he sees the opportunity and passes the ball into that open space. Now, unfortunately, the pass was not that accurate, but what if that was a Barcelona player like either Frankie or Gavi or Kessie or Sergio Busquets making a pass like that? We could score goals in situations like this. So we have to press like Atletico Madrid, like in this example, and attack like if we are actually the real version of FC Barcelona. We can do this. We just have to be aware of where Real Madrid's weak links are, and we have to go aggressive. I don't want to see like some sloppy passes, working so hard to press just so we can like lose the ball right after. I don't want to see that. And just to back this up even more, you can just see the average position of Nacho. He likes going high. His heat map shows everything. Again, Rafinha can't take that space. It's going to be a huge game from Rafinha if he does it correctly, unless Xavi says, well, I want to use Ferran Torres or something. So it's going to be very interesting, and I hope that Barcelona does this correctly. We can, like, let's say for example, in another case, dispossess Vinicius while Nacho is trying to overlap Vinicius, or making a lap inside, but only for Barcelona to dispossess again Vinicius, having possession, leaving a situation where we could see Rafinha versus Rudiger, who is the next player in line if Nacho does not receive the ball and Barcelona has it. And I would like to see that, because Rudiger does not like to commit inside the box or make any fouls, which is why I really do trust Rafinha making those damages inside and outside the box, and then having Lewandowski accompanying Rafinha, and you already know the whole game. So that will be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.